focus on this part of the braids, and this is how they looked when I drew them. Now, to be fair, when I outlined the whole portrait, I really was tired when I got to this part, and I've been kind of dreading it because if you look at the reference, it's quite complicated. You can see that it's I can't really see where all the braids are coming from or going, and it's just a little bit daunting for me. So right now I'm just thickening up the outside because this is obviously on the outline and it's going to be the most important, more important than what's in the middle. You can't really see everything in the middle, so I'm just trying to make sure that they're a little bit higher than they were previously, and that should hopefully help with the realism. Because this top braid tends to be one of the biggest, all the under ones look a little bit smaller. So draw it as you see it, guys, no shortcuts. And they can be really complicated, but we have to find a way to simplify it in our mind. I realised I got a lot better at realistic drawing when I tried to simplify the process and look at a picture and just see what was there instead of seeing the actual picture. It's kind of like when people look at illusions. When you look at an illusion, sometimes it's hard to see what other people see, and that's the point with drawing. Sometimes you have to stop. I found it was important for me in the beginning of learning realism. It was important for me to look at the drawing and or the reference picture not as a photograph or a picture, and just start to see the different shades and start to see the lines and the darkest parts, the lightest parts, and stop looking at it as a picture. You have to start seeing it for what it is, and that is something that you're trying to recreate, full stop. Okay, if you find that the lead keeps spinning around, it's probably quite short. Let's have a look. If you find it keeps spinning around, it's probably quite short. Let's see how long this is. There we go. It's best to get a new lead out. Then the lead shouldn't spin while you're using it. A little tip there. This video isn't really for you to copy what I'm doing. It's to show you a process of how to draw braids. Whatever reference picture you're working from is the most important thing, and that's the thing you want to pay attention to. So really, I just want you to kind of get an idea of how you could begin a process of drawing braids. So I'm just going to darken these parts because these are the parts that are going to be black. Darn those notifications. So these are the parts that are going to be black, and I want to just give myself a little bit of a visual guide. As you know, this helps a lot with realism, so I'm going to darken out these areas just so that I don't get confused while I'm drawing these patterns, because there's a lot of different patterns or similar patterns around the same area, and I don't want to miss out on these gaps. And I'm noticing in the gaps where the shadows are, I'm actually beginning to draw the braid, and I keep forgetting that I can't do that. So excuse all the kids' noises, I've got family here, and also there's kids in the street playing. So I've decided now that the best thing to do is to darken the outline just to make it a little bit more dominant, solid, finished, ready, whatever word you want to use. So I'm also going to add the shadows in between so it becomes a lot less confusing to look at. So I've basically gone over these braids and I've tried to use the pencil to make sure they're lighter, but after I've popped out and come back home, I'm looking at it and it does not look realistic at all. So I'm going to go over it again and start changing things and tidying things up. sprays are to lighten certain parts, and now I really want to add the detail with the black polychromos pencil. So I'm going to take my time with this part, so I'm going to have to time lapse quite a lot, but I'm going to show you now. It will involve like one line here, there's another line going through there, just darkening a certain part, and then making sure I've got the outside and this part black enough. Look at the most blackest parts, and we're going to go over those and just make sure they're the most dominant. It will seem like it's not making a difference now, but overall, when you look at the whole picture, once it's done, it will make a difference. So I'm going to get on with that now. So we're going to do as we did before. I'm going to start darkening out areas which are going to be blacked out. That way it gives me a visual guide once again. And then I'm just going to throw down the black. I'm going to do this pretty quick because I really want to go over the rest of the portrait now, tidy it up and get it finished. So I drew the face, as you can see. I wasn't going to draw the face, but because there was an outline and whatnot, I just thought it would look better. I'm not going to draw the clothing, I'm going to leave that like that. But I also went over the braids and tidied them up. I can't even remember if I filmed that now because I was so tired. These are the braids that I did. Here's the face. I did those baby hairs just there. So now that all that's left to do really is just to maybe darken the scalp very slightly and add some highlights. I don't know how effective that's gonna look, but I'm gonna get started on that now.